You think a 150,000 Mercedes makes you look successful. To the actual 1%, it makes you look like a liability. We have been brainwashed into believing that wealth is loud. You are told that being rich means wearing designer logos, flying first class, and making sure everyone in the room knows exactly how much money you make. That is a lie. That is the behavior of the broke trying to prove their worth. True wealth is silent. It is invisible. Most people are playing a game of financial pretend. A professional earning $250,000 a year but carrying $80,000 in consumer debt is not rich. They are a highly paid slave to their lifestyle. After studying self-made millionaires for decades, a clinical pattern emerges. When people accumulate significant, life-changing wealth, their relationship with money fundamentally breaks. It changes. Showing it off becomes entirely unnecessary. In the next few minutes, you are going to learn the 6 psychological traits of quiet millionaires. We will break down why they refuse to look wealthy. We will expose the liquidity matrix, the 72-hour commitment rule, and the specific psychological shift that makes status irrelevant. By the end of this, you will realize why your desire to look rich is the exact mechanism keeping you poor. Write this down now. Money is not a megaphone, it is a shield. If you use it to scream for attention, you lose your protection. The first psychological trait of the quiet millionaire is identity separation. Most people tie their self-worth directly to their net worth. If they get a raise, they buy a new car to prove to society that they have leveled up. They use money as a metric of their identity. When you use money to prove your worth, you are forced to spend it. Quiet millionaires completely detach their identity from their bank account. They do not need a luxury home to validate their existence. They do not need a watch that costs more than a college tuition to feel respected. Because of this detachment, their spending becomes entirely intentional. They buy things that align with their personal values, not things that signal status to strangers. When money stops being emotional, you stop making irrational financial decisions. This leads directly to the second trait, prioritizing freedom over image. The middle class operates on a cycle of lifestyle inflation. You make more money, you immediately spend more money, you upgrade the apartment, you upgrade the wardrobe, you trap yourself in golden handcuffs. Quiet millionaires run every single financial decision through one clinical filter. Does this purchase increase my freedom or reduce it? A luxury car comes with higher insurance, expensive maintenance, and the constant paranoia of it getting scratched. It is a liability that demands your attention. It reduces your freedom. The actual wealthy avoid unnecessary upgrades. They reject financial obligations that limit their future choices. They understand that true wealth is waking up in the morning and having absolute dictatorial control over how you spend your day. Image is a prison. Freedom is the ultimate luxury. To secure that freedom, they master the third trait. They value liquidity over possessions. Society tells you to tie up all your money in expensive physical assets. Massive houses, boats, physical status symbols. But physical assets are heavy. They are illiquid. If the market crashes or an emergency strikes, you cannot eat a boat. You need ammunition. Wealthy individuals prefer cash reserves and highly liquid investments. Liquidity provides flexibility, it provides security, it provides an aggressive peace of mind. Clinical research into financial psychology shows that a person's stress levels are not correlated to their total net worth. They are correlated to their liquid savings. Having $100,000 in accessible cash provides a massive psychological safety net that a $2 million house heavily mortgaged to the bank simply cannot provide. The wealthy keep their powder dry. They want the ability to pivot, to invest in new opportunities, or to simply walk away from a bad situation without hesitation. The fourth trait is where the true psychological split happens. Quiet millionaires completely abandon the comparison game. The modern financial system is fueled by social comparison. Social media is engineered to make you feel inadequate. You see your neighbor's new pool, and suddenly your backyard feels cheap. This constant comparison drives the middle class into massive consumer debt. You are spending money you do not have to buy things you do not need to impress people you do not even like. The 1% opt out of this game entirely. They do not care about keeping up with the Joneses. They know the Joneses are drowning in debt. When you stop looking sideways, you eliminate the emotional trigger that causes overspending. You maintain financial stability because your spending is dictated by your own internal compass, not by the external pressure of a fake digital reality. Because they are not distracted by comparison, they develop the fifth trait. They view spending as permanent. The average consumer views a purchase as a temporary hit of dopamine. You buy a new phone, you feel good for 3 days, and then the feeling fades. You are left with a smaller bank account and a device that is already depreciating. The rich do not buy pleasure, they buy responsibility. Quiet millionaires see purchases as long-term commitments. They understand that every item you own requires maintenance, mental bandwidth, and physical space. They implement strict biological filters like the 72-hour rule. If they want to make a significant purchase, they force themselves to wait 72 hours. This simple temporal constraint completely kills the emotional impulse. By the time the 72 hours have passed, the dopamine spike has crashed and logic returns. They realize they do not actually need the item. They view their capital as seeds. Every dollar spent is a seed that can no longer grow into a money-producing tree. They refuse to burn their own forest. You must understand why the system pushes you to do the exact opposite. The global economy relies on your financial insecurity. If everyone suddenly stopped caring about status, the luxury fashion industry would collapse. The auto industry would face a crisis. Banks would lose billions in high-interest credit card debt. The system needs you to act rich so that you stay poor. It feeds you a constant stream of advertising designed to attack your ego. It tells you that you are falling behind. It tells you that success looks a certain way. But the people who actually run the system, the ultra-wealthy, do not consume those advertisements. They own the companies that sell you the illusion. They collect the interest on the loans you take out to buy that illusion. You are financing their wealth with your ego. The final and most powerful psychological trait is this: they are entirely comfortable being misunderstood. When you have money but you drive a 5-year-old Toyota, people will judge you. They will assume you are struggling. They will look down on you. Let them. The average person is terrified of being perceived as poor. They will bankrupt themselves to avoid that judgment. Wealthy individuals do not feel the need to justify their financial choices to anyone. They are internally validated. They do not depend on external approval to feel secure. From the outside, they appear completely ordinary. They wear plain clothes. They live in modest neighborhoods. But internally, they possess something the flashy consumer will never have: absolute financial peace. They sleep at night knowing they own their time. Quiet millionaires do not act poor to become wealthy. They act poor because accumulating real wealth changes what actually matters. Status becomes an irrelevant game played by insecure people. Money stops being a tool for emotional validation. It becomes a tool for optionality. Real wealth does not try to look impressive. It focuses on building a life with absolute freedom. You have a choice. You can look rich to strangers, or you can actually be rich in silence. Stop financing your ego. Stop playing a game you are designed to lose. Build cash reserves. Protect your liquidity. Study the system. Do not let your ego keep you broke. Subscribe.